Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we're going to install this water softener in this new build home. Okay, so let's get started. First off, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Consider subscribing if projects like this around the house are something that you like. So what we have here is a 42,000 grain capacity water softener. This one happens to be from Rheem, but there's a number of different manufacturers out there. This will service a family of 5 pretty well. And so you can notice here that the builder has actually put in a softener loop. And then down here, of course, is the drain. We have an easy access to turn the water off. And we're going to be using all of these things when we put all this together. A couple other pieces that I stopped off at the big box home improvement store to get. First off is a P-trap. And this is a 2-inch P-trap. And that fits down here like so. I've also gotten a 2-foot length of PVC pipe that will install like that, and that will serve as the drain. So once we have that installed here, we'll put the drain from the softener down into here. We'll also make sure we have an air gap, so make sure and check your local code that when you do the installation that you're doing it correctly. And then I've also picked up some 1-inch flexible tubes that will go on either side of the inlet and outlet of the water. So the water comes in the house here, around, and then over through to the water softener. On one end of this is a shark bite fitting. So I'll cut this off. You'll see me put it on there. This goes into the water softener. And then out of the water softener on this end, back into the water heater, and then there's our treated water. Shouldn't take too long. Let's get all this stuff out and we'll come back and talk more about it. Okay, so I've got it out of the box. Let's take a look at what we have here. This is the back of the unit. It comes with a valve, and what will happen is this valve will sit in here like this. The water line right here is going to fit on here, and then the other end, of course, is going to go into the pipe that we talked about just a moment ago. And if I ever need to bypass the softener, all I have to do is pull this lever, and then that will bypass the softener. Let me show you inside. So on this model, I actually got it because it actually takes a whole lot less space. And so when you open it up, you actually have your tank filled with resin. It uses ion exchange in order to take out the hard water. And there's also a drain line. So the drain line is what will attach to the drain line fitting on the back. And then that's what's going to go into the P-trap that I showed you earlier that we're going to install right here. Let's keep going. Okay, so off camera, we did a little bit of prep work. So this is going to be the drain pipe. I have an 1.5-inch drain right there. I'm going to put the P-trap on that, and then this will sit up vertically. What I needed to do is I needed to create an air gap. And so what happens is if something were to back up past that P-trap and then rise here, what I did was I notched this out so the water will pour out. And then above this is where I'm going to have the drain line as well as the overflow line in. I went ahead and drilled a couple of holes, put some zip ties in there so I can hold that line above this water line, and then I'll pull them tight and I'll snip them off. What we need to do now is take the valve and put the valve into the water softener. So this is the valve that came with it. Off camera, I put some grease around each one of the O-rings, and it's going to be pushed right into here. And it's held by these little keys. And so when I push that in, this key is going to snap right over the top here and hold it in tight. And then I also have a similar type of fitting that I've put the O-ring on. That's going to sit on top here. Another one of the keys is going to click into there. And then those metal hoses that I had showed you that were flexible go right into the top of those. So let's get started, put all that stuff together, and then we'll talk about some next steps. Okay, so let's check our work. These are in, they're not coming out because the keyways are holding them. The rubber gaskets, I felt them seat each time. Over here, exact same. Keyways are holding it, they're not going anywhere. Okay, next step what we need to do is let's route our drain line. So this is the drain. We're going to put it on here, and then we're going to cut to where it actually comes down into the P-trap. So first we'll install this, we'll spin it around, we'll cut it once we have the P-trap mounted. Okay, so off camera we installed the rubber grommet for the overflow in case the tank gets too full. Now we're going to push this through. It'll sit just like that. Once we have our P-trap on and our drain on, then we'll figure out how much of this drain line we need. We'll cut it to length, install it into the vertical line that was the drain that I had made earlier, and then we'll hook everything up. We should be good. Okay, to get started, I'm going to go ahead and shorten the drain line that was put in whenever the house was constructed. I'm just using a hacksaw. I find it works pretty good. And then I'm going to hot cement the P-trap like that. All right, now that we've got everything good and clean, we're going to use our PVC cement, and we're going to go around and mount each one of these. I'm going to go ahead and turn the vent just a little bit toward the wall, so that way the riser pipe that I have is pretty flush against the wall. Okay, there you have it. We've actually made all of our plumbing connections for the drain. Let's take this off, and then I have the water shut off at the house. We're going to go ahead and make our cuts. We'll put on the flexible pipes, and then we'll be ready to spin it around, hook it onto the softener, run the drain line, and then we'll wrap up. we've just cut off our softener loop. We've used some sandpaper to clean it up just a little bit, get some of the burrs off. Now what we need to do is put these flexible pipes onto each one of those. These have the shark bite end, and so effectively I'm just going to push it on, and then it's going to remain attached. It'll be a watertight seal. So now we've got our flexible lines on. Now all we need to do is connect the right side to the corresponding in or out of the softener, and then we'll cut our drain line as well as our overflow line, place it into our overflow with the trap, turn it around, plug it in, and we're done. Okay, so off camera, I've filled it up with salt. I've entered into the settings for our hardness of the water that we have here locally. I've tested for leaks. Now all I need to do is put the lid back on and hit the rejuvenate button, and then we have soft water. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you again soon.